Hey everybody. So I figured I owed you guys a bit of an explanation for going from one video a day, or at least one every 3 days, to disappearing off the face of the earth for 5 days. So you probably knew already that I am a college student, and my college just got out for the summer. And so that has completely changed my way of life and what's going on right now. I'm back home. My mom's around the house for now. She'll be leaving later. And then I'll just be me in there, and I'll be free to record however much I want, whenever I want. But as it is, I kind of have to work around her. And so we had finals week, which was insane, and I caught a bit of a throat and ear bug. And so I'm on medicine for that. Don't take niacin if you can help it. This stuff tastes terrible. Ugh. Anyway, so I had that, and I got home and had to say goodbye to my girlfriend of 2 years because she lives in another state. So I had to go from seeing her every single day to now seeing her maybe once a month. Maybe, if we're lucky. So, that's hard. And then that same day I had a job interview, and I had to get a tooth drilled, a filling, which is my first filling. And then I had to have another surgery. I had to have two of my toenails removed. And I will be getting into bloody, gory details on that later in the vlog. And if you're squeamish or you don't like blood or human body stuff grosses you out, stay away from the end of this video. There's going to be illustrations. Anyway, so got all that done. Finally got home. Then we get to pack, because the day after that, we're driving out here to Colorado, which is where I am now. And so if you look here, I'll put up some photos of our trip through the mountains, which it was a very beautiful trip. However, I get car sick, and the mountains are very windy and twisty, and that's not good for car sickness. So that wasn't terribly fun, and I still had that ear infection type thing, so I couldn't equalize my ears correctly, which led to lots and lots of pain going up and down those. And I also didn't have any toenails, and the anesthetic had long since worn off, so my feet are very, very sore right now. Just getting around the house is kind of a chore. I've got to clean them out and do all kinds of stuff every 3 times a day. Tomorrow will be the last day I have to do it, but it's recommended to keep going, so I'm probably going to do that. But I'm here now in Colorado at my grandparents' house, which means I need to be accessible and with the family and speaking with them because, they're getting on in years now. My grandmother's not very poor health, is in pretty poor health. We don't really know how much longer we're going to have with her. So it's important that I be there for them and not have my head buried in the computer doing things. Channel things, unfortunately. I did manage to get something uploaded today, quickly. So you can go check that out. Again, I'm so sorry it took this long to get it up there. So it's just kind of been tough times for me. Just my body's going haywire. Those of you who know me know that I've got a lot of other pretty severe health issues anyway without all these other little annoyances. And I'm not going to go into those today because that's a whole nother vlog in itself. It could easily be 30 minutes or more, and I'd like to not do that tonight. It's very late and I'm exhausted. That's the other theme of my life recently, is exhaustion after a week of finals madness and then catapulted directly into vacation with all of the quotation marks you can muster here. And it's not that I don't love my grandparents, I do. It's just, it's a new place, it's a new bedroom. It's very hot here. It's the high desert. And I thrive on cold. Love cold. My room at college, I kept it at 60 to 63 degrees. And I was not cold. That is my comfortable short sleeves and shorts weather. So here I am in the desert where they can't really even get the air conditioner to get that low. Back in an odd corner of the house, the air conditioner doesn't even reach all that well. So I haven't been sleeping all that great either. But anyway, I don't mean to go on and complain all you guys. I just will explain what's going on and why I haven't been around on YouTube. I did get a little bit of work done today while the grandparents are otherwise occupied. I have gotten the rest of my Dragon Commander videos that I've recorded edited, so I can just put those up. I don't have to put those together anymore. I think I have some FTLs, so I'll have to put together an intro for those before I can post those. But I've got 5 or 6 videos now that I could just slap up real quick and not have to worry about them. So that'll make it easier for me to get stuff up for you guys here in the at least 3-day interval. And by that point I'll be home and rested a little bit and I can play again and get some stuff recorded, get more content for you guys. So this is the fun part. And the following bits of the vlog are going to contain graphic details, photos, descriptions of violent toenail murder. So if that kind of thing freaks you out, don't continue here. If you think it might freak you out, you probably don't want to continue here. This is the surgery that has nurses in the medical profession run out of the room and vomit when they have to watch this. And of course I volunteered, because I'm weird that way. I wanted to be a doctor for years, so this kind of stuff is all fascinating to me, even as it causes me pain. But I went into the doctor's office, and he brought me back, and I have suffered from very, very severe, painful ingrown toenails now for, like 15 years? And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. I could not deal with it anymore. So we went to a podiatrist and told him we wanted just to take the whole toenails out and don't let them grow back. He said we can do that. And so I went back there and he got out the numbing shot, the local anesthetic, as it is known in the field, and jabbed that in my toe 4 times in varying angles to numb it up, and they moved on to the other toe and did the same thing 4 times at varying angles to get it numbed up. And those things hurt. I've had several different kinds of shots. I've had vaccinations, I've had allergy shots, I've had blood draws, you name it, I've been there. These local anesthetic shots are the worst I've ever had. They hurt so bad. You can still see holes in my toes where these things went in. And I didn't know it at this point, but these shots go 2 inches or 1.5, just almost to the side of your toe. A family friend of ours had gotten this done, and I didn't find out about this until after the procedure, thankfully. But she had a similar procedure done, and the nurse who was numbing her up actually pierced through the opposite side of her toe and was injecting the anesthetic onto the floor. You know, it goes that deep. And it just burned like none of your business because there's so many nerve endings in your toes, which is very poor design in my book. But he did that and left the room for a few minutes, so let him get numb. And he came back and my toes weren't numb yet. So I did it a second time. And this time I could watch, because the second one doesn't hurt nearly as bad as the first, because they're already kind of numb. And I saw it go all the way in there, and I was freaking out a little bit inside, because I have a little bit of a needle phobia. Just watch this needle go that far into your oh, gosh. Okay, so I did another one on both sides, and then another one on both sides. So we're now at 3 times the normal dosage for this. And he's doing this kind of massage thing, trying to get my toe numb, and it's not working, and goes for a 4th one. And this 4th one, he tries something different. He comes in from the bottom of the toe and shoots it straight up into the nail bed, where he's going to be working, and injects it there. And that hurt like the dickens again, too, because that was the spot that wasn't numb yet. That numbed it right up, and then we were ready to move on, and this is where it gets bad. Okay, so he gets this kind of a blunt instrument. It's like half the size of a tongue depressor and made of stainless steel, but roughly the same shape. And he jabs back the skin from the nail bed. Like at the base of your toe, he just jabs that way back. And all of a sudden I'm bleeding. And I thought, I'm really glad I'm numb right now. And bear in mind that I had also had my first filling that day, so my tooth was kind of numb too, so it was my adventures in numbness day. I jabbed that back, and it's not that my toe was bleeding. And he put a tourniquet on it earlier, which is good, because I don't know how much blood I would have lost that without it. But he jabbed that thing back from the nail bed, and then he took that blunt instrument and he jabbed it up under my nail all the way back to the end of the nail. Just one swift motion, just straight in. I had no idea this was coming. I just looked at that like, whoa. And he just kind of levered it off in one swift motion, just popped it right out one side. And I couldn't believe it was going to be like that. There are people who think they're tough enough to do this without a local anesthetic, and they're insane. You can't. There's a reason that pulling your nails out of the bed is like a stereotypical torture technique. It's awful. But he popped it off, and he got some tweezers. Sorry, some medical tweezers, and he grabbed on it, and he ripped it right out of the other side. And then he took him and started fishing around in the sides and in the back under the nail bed. And he was looking for feathers, is what they call them. It's little bits of toenail that got left behind, especially if you have ingrowns, because that's exactly what an ingrown toenail is. It's those feathers are growing outwards and stabbing into your skin, and it hurts like the dickens. So he was fishing down deep in my toe in the skin for him. Pulled a few out. And then he went over to the other side and did the same thing. Just popped it right off. Ripped the rest of it out with the scissors and went fishing for those little feather bits. And then he got some brown liquid on a cotton swab. And he stuck that up under my nail bed. And this is the chemical that is going to stop the nail from coming back. And so he's swabbing it up in there, down and up the sides. And I'm sitting there thinking again and again that I live in the modern era with local anesthetics, because between getting my tooth drilled and this, it was not going to be a happy day for me. So he did all that, pulled it out, and put this big gob of antibiotic cream on there and gauzed it up real good for me, and said that I was going to be feeling it again in 4 to 8 hours. And he was right. I was definitely feeling it in 4 to 8 hours. And until then, 4 to 8, not 48. But until then, it's like my toes were just made of stone. I knew they were there. I just couldn't really feel them that they were there. Yeah, it was a weird feeling. But pretty quick that feeling came back, and that was staying pretty good. It did not hurt nearly as bad as I expected. It doesn't hurt nearly as bad as it looks when I put these photos up, which I probably have already. If you can't tell, I'm not recording this live. So he gauzed them up real good, and so now I get to have no toenails for a while as the skin toughens up and figures out what it wants to do. And so I have to 3 times a day take off whatever bandage I've got on there and put Neosporin on there. And he gave me eardrops for my toes. Okay. They work, I'm not complaining, but I gotta do that. And so he said that I'm going to have a really nasty scab, and I believe it and you will too after seeing this photos coming up. And so I've got to do that, and I can't walk straight. I got to keep my toes off the ground when I walk, so I'm waddling around like a penguin. It's kind of fun to watch. But I do not regret this at all, by the way. If I do not mean to come off as negative about this. Those toenails drove me insane for years. I'm thrilled that they're gone. So, got that torn off and dealt with, and then we got on the road. Come here. Another interesting drive through the mountains. We come up here every summer, and there's always something interesting happening. One summer, like the entire mountains were on fire. So we had to stay overnight in a hotel and then detour like 4 hours out of the way. Had to drive through a fire twice to get here. So that was fun. Another time I was on an experimental allergy medication, had some severe side effects. I went blind, I couldn't use the restroom for 3 days, hemorrhoids, it was a mess. Another time we got like the worst storm, the worst blizzard in 20 years for Christmas, and we were coming home in the heart of it. Always exciting on our trips to Colorado. Always a good story. It's not always funny at the time, but it's always funny afterwards. But that's what's going on with me. Again, I'm so sorry I couldn't get these videos up for you earlier. Should not happen again. I've taken some safeguards. I'm probably going to go ahead and upload these to YouTube and have them on a timer to release every 2 or 3 days, whatever I decide. Just so even if I forget or whatever, they'll still be there for you guys. So that's what's going on with me. It's kind of been a rough couple days, but I'll get over it. I've been through worse. I've always been through worse. I love doing this channel. This has been so good for me. I've always been kind of skilled with computers, but this has opened up a whole new level of stuff I can do. I've got Power Director that I'm recording this on. It's a whole new opens up so much more that I can do. I'm doing video projects with people at school, getting things together. It's got me friends. I'm a lot more confident now. I was really shy before I started this, but now I can talk to you guys like it's nothing. Probably because you're not here physically with me, but I like to think that you all care enough about me and my life to tune in for these vlogs. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I'll have these videos coming for you again here soon. As soon as I get home, I'm going to get back on recording stuff. I'm going to finish off Dragon Commander. I'm probably going to concentrate on The Witcher next. I've kind of been spread out a little bit in my playthroughs. You notice some things have been neglected for a good long time, such as Kerbal Space Program. And I think I might change how I do things just to concentrate on one game, get it finished, then move on to the next game. It's probably something I should have been doing anyway. Unless it's something special, like Goat Simulator comes out or something like that. Which I don't own that yet, but I did pick up Surgeon Simulator, so you can expect to see some fun with that at some point. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, listening to me ramble on and sniff and snort with my congestion, and just deal with me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.